Hi, my name is Linda Campos. I'm chairwoman of the MLS committee, and I'm here today to go over the new listing agreement with you. I guess we'll start right at the top. Owner's information is the same as it was before. The only thing that we did really add here that I think was needed was more contact information for the agent directly. Paragraph 1 is agency disclosure, so your name would go first and the representative, your representative of your brokerage. Paragraph 1 remained the same, listing agent's name, listing brokerage. The differences here is that you have to choose in which way you're going to represent your client. You can choose seller landlord agent, disclosed dual agent, or disclosed dual with designated agency if the opportunity arises. Paragraph 2 addresses the address, the terms, and the type of listing. So here's the property address again. You'll note the list price or the rental amount if you're offering it. The next paragraph is the date that it starts, the listing. The commencement date is the date that it goes into the MLS, whether it's live active or coming soon would be the commencement date. And then you have an expiration date. But do know that the term of the listing is from the date that the seller signs it through the expiration. So you'll see that noted there, which again, I believe is the same that the original listing agreement had on there. The difference here now is the owner has to decide what their agency relationship is going to be with you. So there's two choices here. There's an exclusive right to sell, and there is a non-exclusive right to sell. So the exclusive is the same that it always was, meaning that the listing broker will be compensated regardless of who sells the property, even the owner. The second one here, the non-exclusive right to sell, means that the seller can grant multiple listing agreements to different brokerages, or they can sell it themselves. The non-exclusive right to sell is not placed in the MLS. So please make sure that you do note that with your sellers, that if they do choose to have an open listing, it cannot be placed in the multiple listing service. Authorization just means that the people that are signing this have the legal right to sign this document. Compensation. So this compensation paragraph, especially the one with all of the, this first paragraph with all the uppercase, comes directly from the Real Estate Commission, and it just basically says that commissions are negotiable, that you and the seller can come to any terms or any agreements that you choose, which would be binding. Paragraph A1 is the total compensation. So this again is the same that it was in the prior listing agreement, is your commission including any cooperative compensation that your seller is offering a buyer's agent. If your seller is not offering a buyer's agent commission, then just the listing commission would be placed in there. If your seller says that they will consider paying a buyer agency agreement when an offer comes in, then you just put the listing compensation there. The only time you could add the buyer compensation is if the seller is offering it and agrees to offer it right at the listing. Section 2 is the same as Section 1, it's just in the lease and how your seller is going to compensate you, just you, or you and a cooperative compensation. That last paragraph in Section 2 refers to whether or not if your seller is going to pay a commission upon renewals. That's again something that you would discuss with your seller at the listing table. Section B is where a lot of the confusion is coming in right now. So let me take a little bit more time on that. B, sharing of commission. We all know that sharing of commission is still allowed by law. The only difference is that per the MORR settlement, we're not allowed to share or offer any compensation into an MLS system. So this is where you would put the amount that your seller is offering a cooperative brokerage minus any fees. If there's no amount in there, you'll see below here this little section on sales and leases. It says if the blanks in Section 4B above are not filled in, then you can put them here. So sub-agency, we know we don't practice in New Jersey, but if your seller is offering a different level of compensation to a buyer's broker versus a transaction broker, then you would leave it blank in the paragraph above, and then you would check yes down here, and you would put the amount that they're offering there. Same goes for the leases. Section C was put in there just for clarification that if there's a dual agent or designated agency, that your seller is going to offer the same compensation in accordance with any commission splits they were giving in B above. Protection period is the same that we had before. It's the protection period of anyone. Your commission or relationship would be protected for a certain length of time after an expiration date should a buyer come and purchase the property that was introduced to it during the term of your listing agreement. The next few check boxes below are really where your seller can give you permission on what you can and cannot do or what a buyer can and cannot do. Line 7 says that your seller will allow you to place a sign on their property. Line 8 says they will allow you to place a lockbox on their property. Line 9 says they will allow you to permit you to show the property address on the internet. These last two are a little bit different. So 10 is really important to know that your seller's giving you permission or not giving permission for someone to video or virtually show their property. We know nowadays sometimes you'll take one member of a family out and they'll FaceTime another member while they're going through the property. Your seller has to give permission on whether or not they will allow someone to record their property, because it is an invasion of privacy if it's done without permission. Line 11 is where your seller gets to decide whether or not they want their property to be shown on the internet. If they opt out of the internet, please know that it is still shown in the MLS to all the licensees and all the members of the MLS. It's just not broadcast out to the syndicated sites. Section 12, property condition disclosure statements. We all know effective August 1st per the SEPA law. In New Jersey now, all sellers are required to fill in a property disclosure statement that must be viewed and signed off on by the buyers prior to any executable contract. That's it really as far as the changes. The next few bullet points are just permissions and, again, 16, any additional contractual provisions that you might have there. I feel that it's fairly simple. We tried to keep it as simple as possible, and we really did try to keep it the same that it was before for familiarity, because we're all in uncertain times with the changes, so we wanted to make it as clear as possible for our members. Thank you. I hope that this helps you, and if you need anything, feel free to give the board office a call at 732-918-1340.